All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode. Today we are out here at the farm. A bunch of us were doing training. This is a qualified line clearance arborist certification. It's kind of a mouthful. But we're out here, we're doing training. We do this annually to keep up our credential for working around power lines. So this is the fourth day of the week, I think. Yeah, it's Thursday. We spent the whole first part of the week going over a bunch of classroom stuff on the computer, looking at power lines and stuff like that. So not a whole ton to show there, but I thought I would want to document and share this part with you because we're going to be going over aerial rescue right here for this class. And so, that's in... aerial rescue is practicing in case, God forbid, somebody gets hurt in a tree. We want to be able to go up and, effectively, potentially rescue that person, get them out of the tree. So that's what we're doing, and we're at the farm. This is a property that we bought a while ago that we are currently in the process of getting permits and stuff. We're going to build a new shop here, but right now it's still it's just a nice farm right now, perfect for practicing our trees that we're going to be climbing, and it's going to be really cool. So yeah, we'll show you what we're up to and talk about aerial rescue and line clearance safety.
Something's wrong.
All right, Woody, are you okay? Woody's not responsive. Caleb, can you call 911?
Hi, this is Caleb. We've got a climber unconscious in a tree.
Aerial rescue is it's practice that's required by OSHA for anybody that's doing tree work, actually. If you're doing any kind of work at height, you need to practice some form of at height rescue. Would you want to be tethered by the D-rings or your bridge? Which one do you think would be better?
Bridge.
All right, so Nick and Caleb are gearing up right now. That's our progressive interracial couple that we have right there, getting ready to get going. The instructor's just running us through different scenarios. There's a lot to take into consideration, like the devices we climb on are rated for, an individual's weight, so you have to compensate with a lot of, friction, and it's really important that you don't mess with anybody's posture too much if they're still breathing, because you don't want to potentially injure them more. Anybody will tell you that knows anything about aerial rescue, the first rule is don't make a second victim. So there's a lot to go over. He's going over this stuff on the ground with us, and then we'll go up the tree. We'll take turns practicing and going and getting the dummy out of the tree. We try to do this, at least once a year. We get together and practice aerial rescue because it's one of those things that, the best aerial rescue, they say, is the one that never happens. So hopefully we never have to do this. And I've never had to do this with anybody, but it's important to keep practicing, and to keep, especially as gear changes, we all use different devices, so you want to be familiar with everybody's climbing systems, and so it's important to keep up on this stuff. So that's what we're doing out here right now. In just a minute, we'll start headed up the tree. So I'm gonna ascend the line.
You feel safe about going up on that tree?
I feel safe about going up that tree.
All right, Woody, I'm coming up for you. Stay calm.
If you're faced with a rescue decision, you have to have a second person on your crew who's capable of performing an aerial rescue. So talk to me, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
All right, guys, Woody's hanging in the air. I'm gonna go above him and transfer over. That way I can get a sight on whether he's breathing.
So that in the event that somebody at height gets hurt, there's someone on the ground that knows how to get that person back to the ground.
All right, Woody's breathing.
He's breathing?
But he's unresponsive.
What are we gonna do if he's breathing?
We're gonna stabilize him.
All right, go ahead. This is really just aerial rescue practice. The real test is when someone actually gets hurt. That's it. Good job, dude. And if you haven't practiced it enough, you're not gonna be prepared for it.
Nice job, Caleb.
Woo. Our time point's here, his time point's over here. We don't want him swinging that way, us swinging this way. We want to be together, right? It's best work practices that are actually required by OSHA and the Z133 is that you have to practice aerial rescue once a year. So it's actually good for us to practice rescuing somebody on a rope runner.
Yeah, so a lot of us are going up. You'll notice we're going up a single rope. August climbs on double rope, so he's got a moving rope system. And you can see that means that when he pulls himself up, he has some mechanical advantage. So, his steps are going to require half as much energy, but he's going to go half the distance as going up single line. So, yeah, he likes to go double rope. A lot of us like to go single rope. Jed's old school. He's going to foot lock up it. And so, yeah, just tons of ways to climb a tree. Everybody's got their own preference.
It could be heart attack. It could be a bee sting. It could be electrocution. Right? Tree work is filled with hazards, right? You're working at height. You're working on something that's unrated, right? The growth of the tree itself or the species is a hazard, right? You have some trees that have included bark, which is weak branch attachments. Is that in our shot now?
Oh yeah. You're ruining our energy,
Hey,
Dad.
Can you move that?
I can. Yeah.
Because you're in our shot.
Kevin's a star. He needs.
I got that, but I thought Eastside Tree Works might represent well.
Except I'm already like halfway through a statement, and now I got to redo the whole statement because the shot has changed.
The whole thing's ruined.
So thanks, Jed. I forgot what I said. Tree work is full of hazards, right? Hazards are things that can hurt you, but you're not necessarily in immediate danger when you're doing tree work, unless you haven't followed certain rules. But then you're also working at height in general. That's a hazard. You're using sharp objects like chainsaws and hand saws. And then in many cases, you're working around power lines. Whether you're doing line clearance work or not, you're working at height. And if you're working at height, you're getting closer to power lines, or you have the ability to get closer to that power lines. So that's a hazard. We really try to focus on filling their head with information about electricity so that they can ultimately have more respect for what's going on, to end up having more respect for the wires and understand why it's so important that we stay a certain distance from the wire. Dr. John Ball, I've heard him say, tree work isn't dangerous unless you don't know what you're doing. So I need to climb up that tree, and what's the first thing I need to do when I get to that victim? These guys that are climbing these trees practicing the rescue, I'm trying to embed it in their memory that the first thing you want to do when you get to a victim is to find out if they're breathing. Because if somebody's not breathing, the first thing you have to do is get them to the ground so you can do CPR.
He's alive, he's non-responsive.
Okay. So do we need to get them to the ground? If they are breathing, then you can take a breath and start thinking about what can I do to help this person. When I'm looking at the quality of an arborist, not only am I looking at their skill set, but from my experiences, what I've found is the best arborists, the people who become really excellent arborists, are people who always have the mindset of being a student. They're willing to learn from their mistakes. They're willing to learn from the mistakes of others.
They look like they're intact. This pin isn't supposed to come out.
If you don't beat me, you owe me your saddle.
You lose your cam?
I'm gonna beat you. I just don't know if it's gonna be fair or not.
We'll see.
In the video, I will have beaten you. I don't see any power lines. I don't see any mushrooms. No hangers. The rope's intact. Woody's not moving. I'm gonna go up and bring him down. All right.
Dang, 344.
With the fumbling, it was 3 minutes? Sometimes I like to pretend that I'm doing a lot worse than I am, just to let Luke win. I wanted him to have the encouragement of winning, so sometimes I like to fumble with my gear a lot, It's not supposed to come apart. Luke, what'd you get again?
325.
Thank you.
What'd I get?
344.
But mine was a metric 344.
Yeah, that's fine. Makeshift chest box, can you get it through there? I don't know, it might not be long enough. I think everybody did great today. There was a few safety concerns I had with their climbing equipment or their technique that I was able to address, right? Which is really good for an afternoon of practicing aerial rescue. It allows me as an instructor to get a look at everybody's climbing system, everybody's equipment that they're using, how they're using it, how comfortable they are with using that equipment. And it allows me to say, if you're having a problem with your equipment that leads you to using something unsafe, then let's fix that piece of equipment so that you can use it properly. Basically, you want it to be able to, you want it to be kind of maxed out right here. So that's about maxed out when your leg's straight right there.
Okay.
All right, good to go, bud.
All right, something's wrong. Woody, are you okay? Can you hear me?
Small choppy steps, Nick, like you're paddling a bike backwards. They were open to my criticism. Hey, Nick, part of the reason you keep lifting the rope has to do with the angle of your foot. We had some guys climbing different ways, and we were able to kind of coach them on control. So your tether's a little too long, but that's all right. Get him below you.
All right, Jed's going up now. Inbred Jed, he's an old school guy. You can see his system is a little different. It's, you know, he's gonna foot lock up. This is the system people used before we had all these fancy gears. It's just rope on rope securing him. So it's a little older of a style. It still works. That's how he likes to do it. Jed's a cool guy. But yeah, it's you know, everybody's got their different style, and this is how they used to do it, you know, 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's forgotten about
This is straight up old school right here, brother. It's good stuff. And it was really cool to see the guys like think through the problems on their own.
We'll get you down, bud. Hang on.
This is a lost art right here. Foot locking is a lost art.
Get her, Jed.
Hang on, buddy.
There's a few people like I intentionally ask them questions to try to trip them up.
Yeah, he's breathing.
He is breathing?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna support his back and bring him down.
Nope, he's breathing. And they were able to think on the spot, and they knew exactly what they needed to do in that situation. There you go. Why wouldn't you bring him down?
Well, he's gonna be better off in the hands of the pros.
Right. If you start moving them and bringing them down, what could happen?
Goof up his backwards.
There you go. You can make it worse, right?
Yeah.
All right. They can try to make a habit of maybe once a month or once every other month practicing a rescue like this. Man, these guys will be prepared for any emergency situation that might come to them. Good job, sir. Now, Jake, on the other hand, dude, it's guilty of treason for a reason. Overall, man, these guys did fantastic.
Good job, Nick.
And every single one of them remembered what the focus was. The focus in aerial rescue was not how fast can I get it done. It was, am I remembering to call 911? Am I checking the victim for breathing? Am I checking for hazards that might hurt me? And am I getting that victim to the ground safely and securely? And every single one of them succeeded in that today. Arboriculture, just like the trees are growing, we as arborists have to grow. All right, there you go. Good job. Woo!
Good job. 425, brother.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we're doing 3 different things, and we're kind of doing them all simultaneously to save time. So today we're getting tested on, there's like a written test for the line clearance certification stuff. The vast majority of this class has been line clearance stuff in like the classroom and everything, and that's, you know, I'm not going to show too much of that because it's not that, there's not that much to show. But so we're doing the written test today, and then we're doing a comprehensive skills climb test. So we've got some goals and objectives up in this tree that we're going to climb up there, and just to demonstrate general skill, show that we can, you know, get up the tree and do certain things. And then we're also doing a knots test today. Knots are super important in this industry, to know how to tie those for all sorts of, you know, practical and safety applications. So we're all doing 3 tests. We're doing it alternatively, and so that's what's going on today. And yeah, it's the last day of the class, and it's been fun.
All right, number 20.
All right, day 5 of the ACRT class, and today it is testing day. So we have 2 written tests and then 1 climbing test. The 2 written tests, well, one's a general knowledge test about everything that we learned during the class, and then one specifically is a recognition test to make sure that we all are familiar with the individual parts of the power line systems.
All right, so see the bottom leader here?
Yeah. Those written tests obviously are important, but the climbing test is super important too. It's important to test our climbing abilities because, you know, in order to be safely working, we want to know that the people with whom we're working are, you know, competent enough to come and, you know, get us out of the tree.
All right, do a rope test.
The objective for climbing the tree is to climb up to their primary tie-in point. And then after they've decided whether it's safe or not, they can either remain tied into that tie-in point or they can move to another tie-in point. And then they're going to lanyard off, and then they have to do a command response, right? Because we want to make sure that we're embedding in their memory that before you do anything in the tree, you need to communicate with people on the ground. So they'll do a command response, which sounds like, you know, headache or stand clear or all clear.
Headache.
Clear? You did it with 2 hands?
Yep.
All right, 1 more. You see it, Jake?
Yep.
Okay. Stand clear, descending. He did it. Yeah, nobody clapped for you. Sorry. I told him to clap for you. So we have guys doing their written test now, and then we've got guys in the tree doing a climbing assessment, because in order to go and do tree work around power lines, I need to see that they can physically climb the tree. Headache, headache. Now Jake has to reclimb the tree so he can go get all the other flags.
No matter what time anybody gets, I'm gonna say, yeah, my flag was way further out though.
Do it all clear before you jump.
All clear?
Clear. Very nice, man. Yeah. They're going up and they're just doing command response, securing themselves, working on work position. So you're practically pulling yourself up there.
So the way this test is set up, we have to ascend the tree, and you can use your own, whichever method you choose to get to the top. And then once you get to the top, you have to, inspect the union, make sure that it's safe. And then basically we have a couple spots in the tree that we have to move around to, calling out headache, clear, making sure that everybody is a safe distance away, just like we do in the field. This is sort of a smaller version of some of the tests that they have at the tree climbing competition. There's an event called the work climb, and this is basically a simplified version of that. So we go up the tree, we move around, we do a few objectives, and then we come down, and then it's on to the next person.
Yours. Go Nick, you're our man. If he can't do it, Jake can. Starting your time. Look at that. Smooth, methodical climb right there.
Just generally speaking, being able to safely move and work and operate around the tree is good practice. And so we test for that in this class, and we do this every year.
Clear. Good job.
You gotta land on this, okay? Caleb, remember this chip, okay? Remember this chip. This is what you gotta land on.
Not exactly.
On the chip. I will
know
land
which chip
on
it
that
is.
chip. So my prediction is going to be at least half of Jake's time. Maximum.
Maximum. At least. I had to fight the rope. The rope was in my face the whole time. The sun is in my face. There were bees.
I mean, it's definitely going to be.
Dude, did you see that eagle coming up?
Easy.
There were eagles.
You ready?
Oh, he's gonna beat my time for sure.
Tying in. All clear. Heading to the next side.
Oh, pull the slat. Pull the slat. Oh, dude. That would have looked so clean.
That would have been so clutch. All clear?
Clear. Good job.
Come back. What?
I like that. What?
Too much stuff on your
All clear again.
Clear.
Too much stuff on the saddle. 353.
353.
The final glaze. That's what happens when you go for the drop.
And I did film a little bit the first few days of the week, but I filmed it on this bad boy, so I can't put that in the video, which is kind of upsetting, but it is what it is. Yesterday, because Caleb lives in this van, and I was literally sitting here talking to Caleb. He's cooking me food, and I go, how come they say not to put a cell phone in there? It's like the perfect size. And he says, it's because if you slam the door, you'll break your cell phone. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And then I got distracted. And then an hour later, Caleb slammed the door and broke my cell phone. We literally had a conversation about it. So that's why the first few days of the class did not make it into the video. The footage is on there. It's gone. It's the newest phone Apple makes. That sucks.
So I have documents for each test that they take, and then I have a master document that has their scores for all of the tests that they're going to do today. So they'll do a general knowledge test, they'll take a hardware recognition test, they'll do a work climb, they'll do a knot tying test, they'll do an aerial rescue test, and then I have to check everyone's CPR and first aid, and then I'll give them some type of a certification based off of what their testing was.
You ever get better than me?
96. 88.
My questions were harder.
Look at this swing, look at this. Superman! Hell yeah! I hope you got that on film. That was so sexy.
Yeah, Jed.
3:30.
Not looking for sponsors or anything, but
That is huge.
Caleb's available. If Barnes is watching, Caleb's available. The knot test is really, really important. You know, as arborists, we're dealing with knots and ropes constantly, both in various rigging applications as well as with our climbing systems. So, Kevin tests us here on our ropes to make sure that we know the basic knots that we need for tree work. I mean, there are so many knots, and knots is another really fun one. You get a new guy on the crew, start teaching him a few knots, and you can quickly see a lot of times their interest is really piqued, and it's a really good way to get somebody engaged into the industry quickly. So knots are important for so many reasons. This is my foot ascender. Dude, try mine. You're gonna. It's
The whole thing?
It doesn't matter what foot ascender you use. I like this one, but this is super cool because look, your foot goes in here, and this just clips to your back, like anywhere on your harness on the back, and then this is your chest piece. So it's all in one thing.
Across your,
over your shoulder, and then when you get up to where you're done, just throw it off your shoulder and it'll just dangle there. Kind of.
This is the range of motion that I'm worried about. When I try and come up with this, I don't like hitting. Get it, Jordan. Come on, man.
Jordan over there, he is the owner's nephew, and he has been here 6 or 7 years. He is a certified arborist, qualified tree risk assessor, and he's a master gardener also. He runs the fine pruning crew. So they do a lot of like really high-end properties, Japanese maples, fruit trees, all sorts of stuff like that. That's what he focuses on. That's his specialty.
Clear.
Clear.
All the way down. Oh, yeah. Oh.
that thing's waiting the rope too.
Woo.
404.
You beat me, Jordan.
Is perfection too much to ask?
I remember when Jordan started. He was just a pup.
He's just a pup.
Just a pup when he started. They grow up so fast.
That worked very well.
Right? Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is really cool.
You can actually set pretty high when you're running it. Yeah.
And this is a lot of fun. I mean, it's good to do the test, but it's also just a fun team building exercise too, because it's a friendly competition. We can all compete with each other, give each other a hard time, to see who wins and who loses. But it's really friendly, so there are many reasons why we do this.
Yeah.
Kill it.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah!
Well, all right, everybody, that's it for the class. We're all line clearance qualified now. So usually I like to do a question of the day, but I can't look at my YouTube right now because my phone is demolished. So instead we thought it'd be fun if Kevin would just give me a pop quiz question. So you just lay it on me.
All right, man. So if you're going to do any kind of tree work around power lines, what are the 3 basic questions you need to be able to answer on any job site?
Around power lines?
If you're going to be working around power lines, there's 3 basic questions that you should ask yourself to determine if you're qualified to work around those.
What's my minimum approach distance?
Okay, what is your minimum approach distance?
What's
okay.
the voltage?
Do you know what the voltage is?
then
You're kind of going backwards with it, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little bit. Is it important to know the difference between a ground wire and a primary wire?
Yeah, what am I looking at?
Okay.
Right? Is that? Like,
Yeah, so you're close. So what's energized on the pole
yeah.
or on the job site? And once you've determined what's energized, you got to determine what the voltage is. And then after you determine the voltage, you got to know what your minimal approach distance chart is.
Oh, okay.
Or what your minimal approach distance is.
So what's energized? Know what's energized
Yeah.
rather than just knowing all the parts of the
Correct.
components.
Know what's energized, know what the voltage is, know what your minimal approach is. It's important.
Well, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
Thanks,
It's been
dude.
fun.
Enjoyed it. Had a good time with you guys this week.
Yeah.
Thanks for the videos and everything. Look forward to seeing the final.
Yeah, it should be good. Is there any way if people want to get a hold of you, or should they? Any plugs you want to do?
Yeah. Anybody wants to send me an email saying how awesome I am or how dumb I am, send it to K Myers. That's KMYERS at ACRTINC.com. So that's K Myers at ACRTinc.com.
Yeah, send Kevin your fan mail there.
Yeah, right. I'm sure I'll get some people sending me questions and telling me how dumb I look in this hat.
Yeah, send Kevin the questions.
Eastside Tree Works hat.
Well, cool. Well, thanks, Kevin. And that's it for this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hopefully you like that. We'll see you next time. Hey fellas, if you enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe. And if you like shorter videos, be sure to check out my second channel, Trees and Chips, where I'm posting highlights, clips, and scenes from the longer episodes on this channel. You can follow Eastside Tree Works on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow me, Guilty of Treason, on Instagram and TikTok. And if you want to come work with us here at Eastside Tree Works, be sure to click the link in the description below, fill out an application. We'd love to have you on board. And once again, thanks for watching.
Take a seat. Move over to the left a little bit.
Episode 8, I think. Luke Skywalker's like sucking down some yak milk.
Oh, is he? You sure it was yak?
It was like a space yak.
There he is. He's going to attack us. Ah!